Hello, my name is Mildred Towns. I'm the host and life coach of Let's Be Real About It. It's a talk show, and this show is where we can be true and we can be real about life issues. We can speak about the traumatic and devastating things that have occurred in our lives or that may be occurring right now at this present time. We will talk with people from all races, all cultures, all religions, all nationalities, because hurt, pain, devastation, and traumatic experience has the ability to affect us all. It doesn't care. It crosses boundaries. It has no respect to person. So nobody is exempt from it. So it's time that we face the truth. It's time that we be real about the truth. It's time that we face life and stop passing the buck, as it say, or the buck, as it say. It's time to stop pointing the finger. It's time to be real. It's time to be real about what's happening in your life. It's time to be real about the issues in your life, because I know you, like me, want to be delivered and want to be set free and healed. And this is your opportunity. So let's be real about life. Let's be real about what's happening in your life. Let's be real about the life situations. God bless. Hello and welcome to Let's Be Real About It, where we are real about real life issues. I'm your host, Mildred Towns. Our disclaimer is this is a no-hold-barred zone. Therefore, some of the contents of the show may be offensive to some, but that is not the intent of the show. These episodes of the 12 Steps are taken from AA Big Book, Google, and our opinion and life experiences. We are not professionals or experts concerning the subject matter. I want to go ahead and introduce my guest for tonight, which is Bernard Hurd. You all remember him. He was a guest on the show, No Longer a Slave. When he was on the show, Bernard, back May. I think it was back May that he was a guest on the show. But before I get him to introduce himself, let me go back. I want to introduce you to my sponsor, J&K Style Grill.
What up, y'all? It's your boy back on stage. We here at J&K Style and Grill with my main man.
J&K Style Grill, home of the original waffle burger, stuffed wings, and Philly steak egg roll.
The food was amazing, man. I'm talking about collard green stuffed chicken, mac and cheese stuffed chicken, waffle burger with the special sauce. Come on, man. What are you doing if you ain't eating here? You're wasting your life.
Pull up.
J&K Style Grill, you can copy the style.
But never the best.
We got it.
We got it.
The title of our show tonight is 12 Steps, and we're going to be talking about steps 6 and 7. So I'm going to get Bernard to go ahead and introduce himself.
Hey, how y'all doing today? My name is Bernard Hurd. I'm a recovering alcoholic and addict. We're here today to discuss some of the steps in the AA program. Thank you, Mildred, for inviting me. Thank you.
You are welcome. And keep in mind, too, just as he said, these steps work on any addiction, regardless of what the addiction is. If you're a gambler, smoker, narcotics, food, shopping, whatever the addiction may be. And one thing that I always quote that I like, what Bill and Dr. Smith said, rarely have they ever seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. So that means that you can be successful in overcoming any addiction. You just have to put your mind to it and just follow the path.
Yeah.
Would you say so?
I would say so. I followed the path that they gave me instruction on, and thank God it worked for me. You know, I haven't had to use alcohol or drugs. It's been almost 30 years. So I would say it works if you want to work the program. it can, if it can work for me, it can work for anybody. So most definitely, yeah, it does work.
So looking at step 6, it says we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of characters. Now, step 6 is about attitude and not our behavior. So, what would you say the difference in step 1 through step 5 for his attitude? But then when you get down to step 6, it deals with well, let me put it like 1 through 5 behavior. Step 6 attitude. So, what you think is the big difference there?
One of the big differences by the time you get to step 6, you're talking about behavior versus attitude, is having a awakening as a result of these first 4 or 5 steps, realizing, that your behavior is brought on by this attitude that you have toward a lot of situations, and dropping that attitude, and as a realization of these steps, at this point, you have found your higher power, which is God for me. If you ain't seen him, may you find him soon. So the behavior is brought on by a series of you can be addicted as a form of heredity or things that happen in your life situation. But we go through the behavior process in these first 4 or 5 steps, and this is when you surrender that situation over to the care of God and your higher power. Okay, at the point of part 6 is when you're ready to have him remove a lot of these shortcomings that you have or had as a result of your attitude. In the rooms of AA, they call it stinking thinking. Mm-hmm. And this stinking thinking and this nasty attitude that we developed over the years, sometimes as a result of our addiction, is one of the things that we have to drop, and this is when we are able to release some of these things from our mind and from our daily process, and it's still something that we can't do on our own. So this is where we have a God of our understanding. This is where we ask him, your higher power, whatever you choose, to relieve us of these shortcomings. So.
Yeah, because this step is about getting rid of all the things that doesn't work in our lives. As a matter of fact, the things that like in steps 4 and 5, step 4 says, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. So what did I find when I did that inventory of myself? What were some of the things that may have been in my life that when I made that inventory, now in step 6, I'm saying to God, I want you to remove this. 2 things for me that I know, I'm bad at procrastinating, putting things on until the last minute. And not only procrastination, but sometimes I deal with intimidation. Yeah. Sometimes. So that's something that I want God to remove from me, is that spirit of intimidation, because I can be easily sometimes intimidated by people. Believe it or not, I can be intimidated by people, and procrastination. Yeah. And certain things, I guess 3 things, certain things that I may get into, because my thing is food. Well, your thing may have been drugs, your thing may have been alcohol, but I deal with this food thing, and I start doing good, and then next thing you know, something hit me. I'm like, oh! So, I just want to be consistent I want God to remove the inconsistency, if
Mhm.
I said that correctly, the inconsistency that happens in my life, in certain areas of my life. So that's procrastination, uh, inconsistency, and intimidation.
Yeah, all of this is, it's new to a lot of us. So it's a learning process. It's like it wouldn't be a diet. They call them diets. It wouldn't be a diet. It would be a life change. It's a process. And like in the book of AA, it says, practice this, until it becomes second nature. So all of this is a practice. You ain't gonna just get it overnight. And, it didn't work for me the first time. I had to go through some things and go back and try it again. And until I got it. So it's a practice. I can relate to the procrastination thing. One of my worst things, even though I've been clean for 29 years, since 1992, whatever that is. I still battle with that thing right there. That's one of the things that I don't like about myself. It's a habit that I wish I could break as as um, as much as I broke the alcohol addiction or the drug addiction. It seems to be harder than that. So I'm still practicing on that. I don't know if I ever be good at that one. Uh, you know, uh, uh, like like you said, the thing where you get intimidated. We do that every day in different situations in our life. And where I come from, the first thing when somebody get in your face, it's to lash out. It's to stick your chest out and go off, or something like that. The day I learned as an older, as a growner, as a more wiser person, that's not always the way to handle that. Sometimes you can handle that better with a smile than you can with a frown. You know what I'm saying? So that's that attitude, that thinking thing that you have to grow into. We grow up into some of these things. It ain't something we do just by osmosis. But it's a practice. Instead of me lashing out. When somebody comes at me, I can stick my hand out. I can offer help today. You know, I can take a step back instead of one forward. Thinking that everything up there and out in front of me is mine, and I got to prove myself. Today, I can walk away. Those are some of those practices, and them are some of the things in step 6 where we have to say, and I have to say it daily. God, take this, because I can't handle it. When I get down to the point where I can't handle it on my own, that's where I go. I go inside. Not out here. I go in, and He's in here. So I have to get at the core of what's really going on with me. Or you got to think about that other person. You don't know what they're going through in the course of their day. So you got to humble yourself to a lot of these situations, and this is where step 6 comes in. Asking for that help. It's just a form of a prayer. It's just a form of a prayer.
Because it says, we are entirely ready to have God remove. Do I want God? And I guess that's one of the things that people have to come to grips with and be able to ask themselves with step 6. Okay, I identify in 4 and 5. Okay, the things that I've been dealing with, the wrong, the shortcomings, and all this. But when I get down to step 6, am I really entirely ready to have God remove what I identified in 4 and 5? Am I really ready to have Him that means completely remove it? All these defects of my character. So this dealing with your character. Am I really ready for God to move it? And that's the answer, a question that each individual person, when they get to this place, have to ask themselves. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, well, as for me, if you say entirely ready, some of those situations I'm not. Even some of my negative situations that I know I need to get rid of, some of them I like them still. It's only when it becomes unbearable sometimes that I'm reminded who's really running things, and that I'm not in control, and that I need help to get through these situations. I'm like a bad kid. I'll go to that point. Then when I get in trouble, here I am begging, for that help again. It's like when I did drugs and alcohol. I would ask, whatever I asked, God would give it to me. So, when I ran out of drugs, I would ask him for some, and he would give me some more. And then when I got all messed up, I would ask him to relieve me from this drug obsession, and he would do it. When I asked, So a couple of times I did that, and I went back on my word because I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't entirely ready. So,
so then you can say a lot of people get stuck right here.
Yeah, a lot of people get stuck
right there and not moving on because they're not really ready for God to entirely remove all their defects of character.
And then some of these things are out of our control. Sugar addictions. How do you relieve yourself of a sugar addiction when almost everything in our food industry has some type of sugar in it?
It has to be a desire and a commitment.
They might cloud the name of it. Fructose, this, that, and the other.
And that's why you got to know what is what.
Yeah, you can get fooled back into these things.
Reading labels.
Oh shoot, it's hard for some people. It's hard for me if I put myself in bad positions, so I just don't. I don't fool myself into thinking I'm cured because I ain't using no drugs and alcohol. I ain't nowhere near. I'm still a drug addict and alcoholic, and if I put myself in the wrong position, that could happen to me again. Being honest with myself, I try not to put myself in them positions. Sometimes it's hard because, look where we live at. You walk in the grocery store, you got 50 different kinds of bottles of wine, 30 different kinds of beer. This is our society today. You'd almost have to live on an island to get away from some of these things that coerce you into going backwards. But it's like I said, it's a practice. All of this is a practice, and it's a lot of prayer. I ask God to relieve me, on a constant level. It doesn't seem so much of a battle as far as drugs and alcohol anymore. Some of it is boiling down to this behavior, this attitude that they're talking about. For me now, it's boiling down to my willingness to change some of those things. The alcohol and drugs, that's like a symptom of what's really going on with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that we did to curb our situation. That was a symptom. The drugs and the alcohol, they're merely a symptom of what's really going on. In these first steps, we find out what's really going on with us. That moral inventory. Things I don't like about myself, things I like about myself. That battle. That's where we are at that point. At this point, it is about attitude. And our willingness for that behavioral change. You know what I mean? We gotta. This is where we start growing up for real. this is the longevity part of it. And that's what we want. We want longevity in this. We want to live. What they say, happy, joyous, and free. We want to live healthy. This health and wellness thing. This is what I pray for. I ask God for that on a daily basis. The things that I stick in my mouth. I try to eat better. It ain't just one thing or two things. It ain't just the drugs and alcohol and this daily struggle. That'll go away with that practice situation. And you can go outside and walk right through that. It doesn't bother you at all. But it's some other things that we're talking about in these 2 steps right here, and it boils down to that higher power and being able to be willing to let them things go. We got to be willing to let them things go and let God handle them. I've had to do it with people, places, and things, to acquire this type of peace that I got now. And when you acquire this sense of peace as a result of letting these things go and letting your higher power have them, and realizing that that weight don't even have to be on your shoulders. You got somebody you can just give that to and keep it moving. It becomes an easier situation. It becomes a better life. You develop a better lifestyle. You look out for yourself better. And when you look out for yourself, you can look out for the people around you. And that's what we want to do, So yeah, this 6 and 7 is when you get there, you win,
So let's,
No, go ahead.
So let's look at step 7. It says the whole emphasis of step 7 is on humility. And step 7 is the 7-step prayer. The 7-step prayer is as follows. And it says, my Creator, I am now willing that you should have all of me, good and the bad. So when we get here in this prayer, God, I give you all of me. Take all of me. The good part of me, the bad part of me, I entirely give myself to you.
Yeah. Things we have no control over, I love the fact that I can pass it on, I wake up with the realization that I have flaws, that I haven't arrived, I'm still striving to do better on a daily basis, and this is one of the ways that I have to humble myself to my situation. I have to. I ain't running nothing. I get up and spin around and say a prayer and let God have me in a lot of situations. So I ain't got no control over nothing. The other day, a guy asked me, "What are your plans for the day?" It was early in the morning. Hey, Bernard, what's your plans for the day? What you gonna do today? And I was like, oh no, it ain't my plan. It's not my plan. Don't put it on me. I'm gonna let God lead me around by the nose today and see where He put me. Whatever your higher power is, He put me in a position where I can sit here and think about it, where I used to just react on everything, get up shattered, got to go out and get busy. I got to do this, that. Today, I don't have to do anything. When I asked for that sense of peace, He gave it to me, relieved me from my job at 29 years. He let me walk away in one of the worst times in American history, with COVID on the rise and this and that and the other and economic this and that. He just let me walk away from a job that people were afraid to leave. Now they wish they had left.
Yeah.
But when you give yourself up like that, the universe will put you where you need to be. It took me from the West Coast to the East Coast, from the big city to a nice small city. You know, it simplified my whole life. My whole lifestyle has changed, you know. Instead of waking up to traffic, I wake up to birds, you know, and trees and flowers and beauty of things that are going on this planet, you know. Bad news, it just ain't overriding the good news. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It depends on how you want to look at things. You know, today I get to look at things in a different light, you know, as a result of this piece that I acquired, as a result of using these 12 steps. So this is why we're here. You know,
Yeah, and so
I'm letting
quickly,
people know. I'm letting people know that this works. This works, you know, it works.
so the second part of that prayer says, I pray that you now remove every single defect of character which stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. And it says, grant me strength so I can go out from here to do your bidding. Amen. But I pray that you now remove from me every single defect of character which stands in the way of my usefulness. Which stands in the way of my usefulness. So what's your take real quick on that? We got about 3 minutes, 2 minutes.
Well, the thing is, I'm glad that I'm in the position to be used. You know, if you clear your heart and your mind, you're in the position to be used. You know, if you give up a lot of this stuff and let God run things, you're in the position to be used. You know, you become an asset instead of a deterrent. You know, I became a better person, period. You know, I love being used. You know, most people, they shy away. Oh, ain't nobody gonna use me. I love being used. You know, if you ain't used, then you're useless. You can't be used, then you're useless. You know, what are we down here for? You know, our main objective down here is to love and you know, take care of each other. You know, in the eyes of the universe, you know, this is our objective. This is what we really want in life, you know. And the first part of that is to learn how to love ourselves. You know, you're allowed to pat yourself on the back. You know, job well done. You know, you're allowed to do that. We deserve that. You know, when we go from bad to good, we deserve that. So, you know, I love being available. You know, that's what we all really want. We want that today. So that's my take on that used situation. I love it. I love being available. You know?
All righty then. All right. Is there anything real quick that you need to say in about a minute?
I would just encourage everybody within the sound of my voice, you know, use these 12 steps. You know, if you still are battling with a drug and alcohol addiction, find your AA meeting. Find your AA meeting. Get you one of these big books of Alcoholics Anonymous and start reading. This is like the Bible in the AA group. You know, this is where we get the tools that we need to battle, you know, these addictions that we have. You know, whatever they might be. You know, these steps work. You know, and if you what they say, if you work them, they'll work for you. You know, we're not gonna get nothing in this life if we don't battle for it. You know, we got to get up and go out and fight, and that's what I did. And this book worked for me. You know, the people in these rooms, and the alcoholics and addicts like myself. You know, that I held hands with and prayed with. You know, we put that stuff up there in the universe, and it came back down in a positive. In positive affirmations, you know, for most of us. You know, some of us made it, some of us didn't. But I pray for myself every day, and I pray for all the people around me. You know.
Okay.
So that's what I just encourage everybody to get in this book. You know, to get in the Word, to humble ourselves this life situation we got on going on down here. Look at the real.
Well, Bernard, I do want to thank you so much for being on the show. And just tell us real quick how people can contact you.
You can contact me at johnhurd47 at gmail.com. You want to get any information on how to make this work, if you want to do that, if you contact me that way, I'll give you my phone number. We can talk. And whatever you're going through, whatever I can do to help you out, I'll be more than happy to help you. If I can't do it online, I'll try to get to you. I'm free. I'm on standby. I want somebody to feel as good as I do about this situation right here that has led me to have a better life. So John Hurd, HEARD 47 at gmail.com. Thank you, Mildred. Thank you.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. And I want y'all to tune in next week real quick for the round table on Let's Be Real About It. Make sure that you tune in for that. And I would like to hear from you. You can email me at iHeartMinistries@gmail.com to let me know if the show has been a blessing to you. And until next month for steps 7 and 8 of the 12 steps, please, until next week, may God bless you.
Thumbs up, subscribe.
Subscribe. You said that right.
Yes, we got to get around
to the YouTube channel, please.
The world with this, yes.
So until next week for the 12 steps, God bless you.